I just have number 8 right here.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Parrott, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks Podcast.
In brightest day,
in blackest nights,
No evil shall escape my sight.
but those who worship evil's might.
beware my power.
Green Lantern's light. Hello and welcome back to another week of Sector 2814, the Green Lantern Podcast. I am Phil. Joining me as always, Master of the Core it is.
I am Will. Hey, everyone.
And once again, Matthew Kona is still locked up in the far sector somewhere. So,
He should have known.
those I mean, once you go intergalactic, man, they take that drunken disorderly very seriously.
Hopefully he'll be traveling back soon.
Hopefully, so, yes. Maybe in another week or so. All right, so, so what's new since we? Oh, I know what's new since we talked last week. Will's Kickstarter is fully funded, correct?
That is true, and we still have 15 days left to run up the score, which is I hope we can do. Every try to get a bunch of new readers and new collectors and new people. So yeah, that's what we're working on.
So
Thanks,
I mean, I told you it was going to happen. Be proud. I mean, look, you're fully funded, and you got what 2 weeks left to go. I mean,
I never try to take that for granted, though.
Yeah.
It's always I always like to make sure that try to put in all the work beforehand, and every backer is important.
so say you can double. Say if you would double your contributions you have now, would that cover issue 4?
It would go a long way to covering a lot of the art for issue 4, which
cool.
is art's pretty much the biggest expense. You know, paying you know, in the case of Pablo, who does pencils, inks, and colors, you know, paying him a page rate, and then with Alice, we're paying her inks, and then we've got a colorist, and then you throw on, you know, a letterer and designer on top of that. Brant, you know, the comics are very labor intensive and expensive to make.
Parts and labor, kids. Parts and labor.
That's right. But it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I'm sure it is. All right. Well, since this is the Green Lantern podcast, was that last week? Green Lantern number 9 came out
With a pretty awesome cover.
I know, with Joe and someone saying, "You in what army?" This one.
Yeah.
I mean, once again, it's like split in half. The first half is John Stewart.
I'm still waiting on my delivery, so I only have number 8 here, which is a great John Stewart cover, by the way.
So you're waiting for your Christmas or New Year's box. So yes,
that's right. Which also should have a Space Traveling Heroes hardcover, which collects Green Lantern number 90 through 106, which I'm looking forward to rereading. And I'm hoping that my birthday present is going to involve some Green Lantern omnibuy, so that I can maybe start reading from Showcase 22 and see how far I get in collected editions.
I was going to say, you really want to drive it home? Give me your wife's email address. I'll just cut out this clip of the show and just email it to her. Just like, you know what? I really like for my birthday.
She knows.
Honey, how'd you know?
Because she sometimes listens.
Oh, does she? Oh.
I never listen, though, because, you know, I'm
too good for
me.
He's like, I'm friends, even myself. Hello, Mrs. Allred.
Well, and hey, let's talk about somebody who's on vacation.
Oh, who, me?
Yeah, how's that going?
I'm good. This is like, well, I guess my second. I had the weekend off, but I mean my second official day of my 3-week vacation. So day 2, yeah, it's going good. Ask me in 2 weeks, I'll be like, oh, a couple more days.
You've
Last
got
week.
you've got comics to read, the house to yourself for several hours. So you're living the dream, man. Living the
Tomorrow's
dream.
Wednesday, man. I'm gonna leave. Get that. I think the store opens at 11. I'm gonna get down there right when he opens. Get my stuff. Bring it home. Read some comics. Have some lunch.
Living the dream.
Sit on the couch. Put my feet up.
Oh yeah. Speaking of,
Yeah.
what? So Green Lantern came out last week. Anything you're looking forward to this week?
I guess I could probably safely say Batman because there's always something Batman every week. Let's see.
Good point.
More Amazing Spider-Man. That's been good. Batgirls #1 comes out. Basically, all the Batgirls.
That's cool.
New issue of Eternals comes out for those of you who like your Marvel. That's kind of cosmic. The second issue of the new Hulk run comes out.
Cool.
King Spawn #5. That's been pretty good. The Robin and Batman #2 comes out. That's a 3-issue series. Dick Grayson. So I guess
cool. Who? I can't remember this character. I'm not familiar with. I'm kidding.
I'm here for Dick.
Thank you, love. Yeah. I mean, there's usually something good every week. Yeah, of course, there's a bunch of Batman stuff. Yes, Amazing Spider-Man 81, Ben Reilly. I think he's about to meet Dr. Octopus. So.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what I've been saying. Save your money. All you Spider-Man fans, save your money for next year. It's the 60th anniversary. It's the 60th anniversary of Peter Parker, and next year is also the 30th anniversary of Carnage and Spider-Man 2099. So stuff's gonna be coming out.
Yeah, and speaking of, Spider-Man 2099 was in the trailer.
Oh, for Spider-Man Across the multi.
Whatever the new
title Across the Spider-Verse or something. Yeah.
And speaking of, have you seen the does No Way Home? Is that out yet?
No, I think it drops Thursday night. Yeah, we're going to the. I think we're going. The family's going as soon as Luca gets home from school on Friday.
It's going to be a long night of spider stuff.
That's my other project I've been doing this week. I've been trying to watch all the previous movies. Like I've already watched Spider-Man 1 and 2. With Tobey Maguire. Yeah. Trying to see where it's like, oh, that's where they pulled Dr. Octopus from. That exact moment.
How it's been a while since I've seen those. How have they aged?
Pretty good. I mean, they're really where's the Twin Towers in the one scene? Besides that, I mean, they really never didn't go overboard, to age them really. Yeah.
Not like #3.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Again, two's probably the best one out of all of them, the one with Dr. Octopus. He throws a freaking car at him. How cool is that?
That is cool.
I mean, again, with some of those, sometimes the CGI doesn't age well, but I mean, for its time and stuff, I mean, the CG is still pretty good in those Spider-Mans.
So you're gonna do what, #3, then Amazing, and
I'm gonna try to do 3 before we go Friday. I'm gonna try to do Amazing Spider-Man 3, and then, Spider-Man 3, and then Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I guess I might have time for the Homecoming and Far From Home.
Oh yeah. And then maybe the Spider-Verse as a chaser after.
Well, maybe, yeah, but I don't know if they're going to pull anything out of it. Yeah. Oh, but yeah, the sequel to that's coming, I think, October. So, yeah, lots of Spider-Man stuff next year, 60th anniversary. Let's see if Venom shows up.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
I was going to say, I don't know I think it's out digitally. You're probably still going to pay for it. Venom 2. Because I think it just came out on Blu-ray. Because, well, spoilers. He doesn't listen to this, but yeah, I got Lucas Venom 2 for Christmas because he really liked that movie.
Cool.
And again, if you can't see it, Will, at least go on YouTube and watch the end credit scene.
Okay.
We
still need to watch Shang-Chi. We did Black Widow. We're caught up on Hawkeye until tomorrow, or I guess late tonight when it drops. Yeah, it's weird. We were down to almost no shows that, we'd finished almost all the seasons of the shows we normally watch, but then, Discovery.
Yeah, Discovery's back.
Discovery's out. Hawkeye's out. Expanse is out. And we've been enjoying Wheel of Time. I mean, that's been a pretty good show.
Yeah, because there's only, 2 episodes of Hawkeye left, I think.
Is it just 6?
Yeah, because the week after Book of Boba Fett starts.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, that's another one for you, Will.
Another one to watch.
Well, that takes the Hawkeye slot. Once Hawkeye's over, the Book of Boba Fett just takes that position. Disney Plus.
Well, they own everything. They can afford to have a new show on every week,
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then after our talk about George Perez last week, I kept the day or two after, I'm like, man, I forgot to mention this. I forgot to mention this because we were mentioning Avengers and Titans. He did Justice League for a while too. And I'm like, I forgot to mention Justice League.
He loves those team books.
He's good at it. That's why wouldn't you, man? When you can draw those huge crowd scenes, why not?
Yeah. And he's been, he was up until he retired. He retired a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
I think so, because I know when New 52 started, he was drawing that Superman book, which I don't know about the writing, but I mean, his art was still incredible on that in 2011 or whatever. So
yeah, I mean, I think he was a comic book artist for 45 years, which is amazing.
Oh yeah, because when did he start this? Was it the 70s or early 80s?
It was mid to late 70s, I think. 77, maybe. I don't know. It was pretty darn amazing.
So yeah, if it was 77, then he probably was 44 or 45. Oh jeez. And some writers, through no fault of their own, as they age, sometimes their art may suffer or even just evolves. Man, he keeps that quality. I don't think I've ever seen a slip in his quality.
Oh no.
Not from the day he started. If anything, it got better. It wasn't bad to begin with, but
yeah, there's this little series he did involving Nebula and Star Fox and Thanos. Had to do with some glove and some jewelry. I don't know.
Again, the big crowd scenes.
Yeah. War of the Gods is another crossover that spun out of Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. That's the other one I was thinking about. Yes. When they rebooted Wonder Woman after Crisis. Yes.
And he started off with a writer, but then I don't know exactly what happened, but he assumed full creative duties on that book, and it was just great.
I know.
Absolutely great.
That's I know, man. That's the first thing that drew me that book. I'm just like, man, look at that art.
Look at this art.
Yeah, you know what?
And of course, the reborn of Avengers Reborn. No, Avengers Return. Can't believe I said Reborn. Avengers Return with Kurt Busiek. I mean, I love that run. That's an awesome run.
And sometimes when you read older stuff, sometimes you don't realize what year it's from, because his work or even John Byrne, it's just I was like, man, they were already doing this in the 70s and stuff. I'm like, I didn't think the art was this evolved in the 70s.
Well, and that the late 70s and the early 80s, you started seeing a lot of the writer artists Perez and John Byrne and Frank Miller and Walter Simonson. I mean, the 80s are this weird time where it was just and Claremont was on the X-Men with Paul Smith or John Romita Jr. or even Dave Cockrum. I mean, it was some pretty cool pretty cool comics were coming out during the 80s.
Well, I wonder if some of that was like, at that point, there was never like still, I don't think to this day, sometimes like a lot of job security. So it's like if you could write and draw, they were probably like, well, well, we need someone. Do we pull this guy who can write and pencil book, or do we get pulling two separate people? Oh, guys, do the guy who can draw.
One less cat to herd.
one less paycheck and benefit. One less paycheck gets the cut. Will.
Yeah, that's true.
Although, do you get paid extra if you?
I would imagine if you're doing the writing, you would get paid the writer's fee and the letterer, and the penciler fee. And if especially, I mean, and some of those guys have almost done everything on a book, except maybe even lettered it. I mean, which is crazy to be able to do all those things.
I know at lettering, but I can't remember who, but I swear there was somebody. Didn't they like write, pencil, and ink their own stuff?
Yeah, I think I've seen John Byrne do it. I think Perez has done it a few times.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a couple. I think they've done basically everything except like the lettering, maybe. Yeah,
yeah, maybe. And I'm sure Simonson and Miller probably have too. I mean, those guys are the writer artist kind of pantheon right there.
Because the lettering, I mean, that used to be by hand. I think now it's like more digital and stuff.
Oh yeah, and letterers now. I mean, lettering now. I think we're seeing kind of a golden age of lettering because since it is digital, they can do so much more. I mean, I think we were seeing like the beginnings of that with like the different fonts and the different speech balloons.
Yeah.
Or Thor and stuff back in Avengers Return. You see you had different types of speaking. Iron Man's, dialogue was a little bit different. It was, and now somebody like Dave Sharp, who letters like a whole boatload of DC books. One of them, I think, the Red Tool from Harley Quinn. Every one of his was shaped like a tool. Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. Like here's a hammer, here's a screwdriver. So yeah, I mean, we talk about this a lot when I get together with some writer friends. Is that pound for pound, you get the most bang for your buck from hiring a professional letterer.
Yeah,
because something. I mean, the art can be gorgeous. The inking, the coloring, the writing can be awesome, but nothing makes a book look, less than professional than bad lettering. It looks amateur hour if it's not lettered well. And there's a lot of really awesome letterers working right now in the industry. I'm a fan of several of them. And I work with an awesome letterer too.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, you have to everyone has to bring their A game, writer, penciler, letterer, everybody. Yeah.
Lots of fun. So what's going on with Green Lantern, Phil?
Should we get to the issues we're going to cover tonight? Because there's 6, but we'll cruise through those 3 Dark Stars
pretty quickly, and probably through the Green Lanterns pretty quickly as well.
Oh, yeah. Not his favorite tonight, kids. Yeah, but this Dark Stars, I guess, was part of a crossover, but I'm not dragging this out anymore. I mean, we're gonna get through these Dark Stars. Because the Dark Stars we're covering tonight are 31 through 33. All right, so Dark Stars 31 from June 1995. Loose Ends. Telling me. Writer Michael Jan Friedman, penciler Mike Collins, inker Ken Branch, colorist Linda Medley, letterers Bob Pinaha, editors Paul Kupperberg and Jason Hernandez Rosenblatt. John Stewart, man of the hour, leads a group of Dark Stars to Apocalypse to track down a fugitive. They cross paths with Darkseid, and after a brief fight, he lets them leave.
I think I've discovered a little bit of why I'm maybe not enjoying Dark Stars as much. I mean, because it's like right up my alley. I should be really enjoying it, but it's kind of Yeah. I think some of it comes down to the coloring. It's just it seems like it's kind of a muddy mess on there. The characters aren't really differentiated a lot. It just
you're reading this digitally like I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wonder if maybe like the digitization of this stuff is not helping
Maybe.
probably a lot too.
I need
But
to go
yeah,
find
it probably
I
wasn't.
need to go find my physical issues and maybe look through them because it's just there's something. I mean, and these are just slugfests. I mean, we got 3 issues of fights
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot it. Oh, yes, and also Donna Troy helps her friend move in. Who's gonna, I guess, going to be her assistant, move into Titans headquarters.
HQ, yeah, and Impulse shows up.
Oh, did you see that announcement today? The Batman Superman book is coming back in 2022, written by Mark Waid.
Oh, very cool. Who do you know who the artist is?
I forget the name. I wasn't familiar here. Let me pull up the link But yeah, I was very excited because me and Lilith were predicting he was going to write Superman a few months back. So I was like, we were kind of right.
Well, and he is a ultimate Superman fan.
Oh yeah. He knows it all. That's funny. That's like the last time me and Lil talked to him, we were asking him like questions about his books, and he's like, honestly, I remember everyone else's stuff way more than I remember my own. The artist will be Dan Mora, Mora.
Huh. Okay, I'll have to look him up.
But yes, I mean, it looks pretty. He looks pretty good from this little bit they're showing.
Cool.
Oh man, this must be all the variant covers. there's one. It's just like Asbats hanging face to face with Cyborg Superman. Just the 90s about to punch itself in the face. Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing that could be better is if the Cyborg Superman had a mullet, right?
Oh, you know what? After he came back, after that Superman 82 we covered, when he like regrows himself a new body, I think he does give himself like half a mullet. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's the 90s. Told you everyone had a mullet. But yeah, I mean, this Dark Stars is basically a slugfest, and then Donna Troy just helping somebody move.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to see Jon Stewart. Darkseid doesn't usually talk that much, does he?
I don't think.
It just seemed really.
I was half waiting for it to be like, that's not Darkseid, it's Desaad in disguise or something.
Yeah, or something. It just didn't feel like Darkseid to me. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I just wanted to punch on you a little bit. Okay, you can go now." Like,
and I forget, was this the one where once again they throw Jianshi in his face?
Yes, they do. They do indeed. Yes. Poor John.
They just tack stuff onto this character so they can like throw it back in his face. Like it's like, oh, your wife's dead. Oh, hey, you can't remember that?
Oh, and they bring that up too in one of the issues. Yeah, I was a Guardian. And then I woke up without my ring. Wait, Guardians don't need rings. I don't understand. Anyway, okay, whatever.
And I think in one of these issues, isn't it? Oh, hey, my wife's dead. Oh, hey, who are you, blue girl?
Yeah. Oh, and then we got a really sexist pig talking to Donna Troy, as she delivered some bad guys in one.
Yes.
Oh well. It's there. We're calling it out. It's there.
Well, you were talking about the art. Do you think, I mean, again, this is ending in 38, so it's like, is the writing already on the wall? They're like, yeah, we don't need to bring in any, like, we don't have to, like, worry about the art like we are in Green Lantern. And
yeah, I kind of, I don't know. I would think that the editorial would probably know that they're going to be wrapping it up because it looks like a lot of these storylines are coming kind of to a head. So I bet I'm guessing, but I guess the writing is on the wall.
I mean, we're like 6 to 8 months away, so maybe we might. All right, let's get to 32, July 95. Oh Lord, yes, this is part of a crossover, kids. So the title: The Crime Lord Syndicate War, Part 3: The Night They Burned Old Dixie Down.
And okay, so we've got Donna's story.
Yes. We've
got John's story, and we have ostensibly the star of the book,
Farron Kolos.
We've got all 3 of these stories happening, and I don't know. This may just be me, but I feel like I got a whiplash sometimes because the scene transition was just like whack, 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 whack. I'm like, whoa.
You're right, man. That is totally whack.
That is whack.
It's back. But yeah, so of course, yeah, it's a crossover. So you got all these Titans running around in here, Deathstrokes running around in here. Because let's see, because
I think it's
Farron
part of the crossover.
yes, Farron Callis begins to fight to free the miners. Meanwhile, more Dark Stars arrive in Dallas to help the new Titans battle the Syndicate and Crime Lord's force troops. Crime Lord, are we even trying anymore? Hello, you cannot stop me. I am Bob McBadguy.
I am the Lord of Crime. Lord of Dance was already taken. Sorry.
I am the Lord of Crime Manor. Again, were we putting our best effort in if the writing's on the wall?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. This was continued from New Titans 122 and concludes in Deathstroke 49.
Deathstroke the Terminator.
The Terminator. Oh, that's another George Perez, co-creator of Deathstroke the Terminator.
New Teen Titans #2.
Which, did you know, kids? They originally were going to call him the Terminator, but guess what? A movie was coming out, so they're like, we got to put something in front of that, the Terminator.
Wonder what movie that was.
No, it will be back for a sequel.
Many sequels.
Yeah. So now I don't think anyone even uses like the Terminator. They just call him Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Wonder if,
absolutely.
now are they really just like, don't point to that movie, or they're just like, it's too many headaches. Let's
just call him Deathstroke.
All right. Any thoughts on this Dark Stars?
It's a big team battle.
Which again, it's like you have Jon Stewart, you have Donna Troy, these pre-established characters with how many years of history, and they're not. It seems like they're not really doing anything with them.
Yeah, it's almost like any character could be stood in their place, and the story wouldn't change that much. So
no,
they just wanted
the name brand. That's it.
And, John wouldn't talk to Darkseid like that, and Darkseid wouldn't talk to John like that, or do whatever it is Darkseid did in that issue, because it feels off.
Yeah,
and I get it. These characters are kind of, I feel like they've been shoehorned in here, whereas the book was very different not too long ago, and now we've got all these other shoehorned characters in. So I kind of feel like the writer's doing the best he can, but
and I wonder if there's like any editorial mandates or anything, or I wonder if it's even just like they're just getting whatever's left, like pickings wise. Cause it's like, okay, Green Lantern's going to do this, so you can't do this. And I wonder, are they maybe even behind, maybe because their sales aren't as good as even like Guy Gardner's, and they're like, oh no, well, Guy Gardner's going to do this, so you can't do that either.
Oh, okay. Speaking of, they say, hey, check out Guy Gardner 31 to see what this is.
Yes.
Okay. Bad guy aliens, maybe? Shouldn't we check it out?
What is it? Is that next week? I think we'll get to that. Way of the Warrior. We're going to chop that in half, that storyline. So yeah, we'll get the first half of that next week, I believe. Guy Gardner, Justice League, and Hawkman.
Yeah, don't get me started on Green Lantern 64.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get there in a few minutes. All right, so let's get this last Dark Stars out of the way. Dark Stars 33, which I have no synopsis for. From August 95. Oh, I love that cover. No more Mr. Nice Mugla.
Yeah. And this is basically them just catching up the Kolos storyline, right? Because Donna delivers the bad guys that they took care of last time, and now he fights the bad guy that went to that universe with him and beats him.
Oh, what about this scene on this page here where John's breaking up that fight between two of the Dark Stars there who are arguing over who was the best space cop, Hal Jordan or Farron Carlos? I mean,
big sigh.
I mean, who would you take, Will?
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
But even John's thinking, besides, only I know who the best space cop was.
I have no comment.
I was waiting for John Stewart to be like, I knew who the best space cop was, and it was me.
It was Chip before I killed him.
Oh.
Poor Chip.
Good Lord. But yeah, like you said, a lot of Collins, Pharaoh stuff, or Farron Carlos. Oh, Donna meets these aliens, and she basically tells them that Colin Ferris is dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming he's gonna like get home by the end of this series because
I hope so. I mean,
not a lot of issues left.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that the Dark Stars, they keep kind of coming back. They were in Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps as kind of like robots, I think. Toward the end of that series, I was reading some synopses of stuff to catch up. And then Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp used them as Black Stars, in their 2-season run on basically a Hal Jordan series. So, they're interesting and they've got a cool look.
No,
but they're not Green Lanterns.
Exactly. Oh, and John Stewart meets his new love interest in this.
Yes, what Moraine, is that her name? Moraine?
Moraine, yeah, Merayn, yeah. Thalos, yes. As we'll see in upcoming issues of Green Lantern.
We will indeed.
He's like, what? But it's so obvious because he's like, why is my mouth dry all of a sudden? He's like, oh my god, that's what happened when I first met Katma.
On the nose.
Well, maybe not the nose. He likes his women of color, man. I tell you.
Dark Stars, yay, Dark Stars.
So yeah, basically, yeah. Besides those quick little things with John and Donna, most of this is just like a Colin punch 'em up.
Yep. Absolutely.
And next time
it's and again, it's not bad. It's just not.
It doesn't really grab you. It seems like it's lots of bureaucracy.
And I still think the coloring, maybe it's the inking too, because part of the job of the inker is to separate the the foreground from the middle ground and the background to help tell the story. And maybe the inking is off on it, which is also muddying the colors because you're not separating those out. I mean, I don't know. It's just it doesn't grab me.
Yeah, they're not doing themselves any favors. I mean, between the art and then we haven't even been reading this series from issue 1, and it seems like it's taken a radical shift for us. I mean,
oh yeah,
you're here since issue 1.
Yeah, no kidding. Who are these people? They've all left except the one guy that's helping John now. Yeah.
Like that. Or yeah, pretty much everyone else walked away except for like one guy.
Yeah. Hey, I can be a Dark Star or a lawyer. I'm gonna be a lawyer. What?
I know. They recast the whole show.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Should we get to Green Lantern issues? I know you're itching to get the Green Lantern issues, Will.
Oh yeah. I love getting trolled by editorial 30 years after the fact.
Oh. The gift that keeps on giving.
That's right. I mean, I know they were trolling me then, and they're trolling me again 30 years later. So many of the things that one, either Kyle or Hal or Ganthet or any of the Justice League that show up say are, like, well, yeah, that everything that came before sucked, and he's dumb, and you're dumb. You're dumb for liking him, and this is the way it is now. He doesn't deserve it. You suck.
Forget that old man.
Yeah.
But then meanwhile, 2004, 2005 rolls around. It's like, man, look how cool Hal Jordan is.
Exactly. Have you ever seen the movie The Right Stuff? Chuck Yeager sauntering out of a plane crash just because he's awesome.
Oh, you do take that gray hair away.
Exactly. It was the gray hair that did it.
All right, so tonight, Green Lantern 62 through 64. So 62 from May 1995. Ganthet's Tale redo.
Yeah. And this, I know this is 3 issues, but this felt like 1.5.
Yeah. You could have. That's I'm like, were they killing time or something? Because they could have did this in at least 2, if not. Yeah.
And if they were really super efficient, they could have done all this in 1 issue. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that could be cut out.
Maybe even like 1 oversized issue or something.
And it's, I mean, if you look at the panel per page count average, it's pretty low. I mean, we're talking 3-4 panels, maybe 5 on some pages. It's a very fast read, and the whole first issue setup where we'll start talking about it now. 62. They stopped some muggers.
Well, you know what I'm thinking? Because remember, last issue was like that fill-in issue with like the Andy Smith art and stuff, and now we're like stretching this to 3 issues. I wonder if he was killing time, because like Underworld Unleashed is coming in a few issues and stuff. So I wonder if
very true. Yeah, I forgot about that
crossover and stuff.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. So, and then it's not much longer, and so Underworld Unleashed is the crossover for 95. Is it Final Night 96?
I believe so, yeah.
So yeah, we talked about this earlier. So Hal as a villain really only lasts like 2 years.
Well, because Underworld Unleashed is, what is that, like issues, I think 68 and 69. You're welcome, Lilith. And then like Final Night, I think, is around issue 80 and 81. So yeah.
Because he's dead at that. Spoilers.
Well, I was gonna say issue 81 was a funeral for someone.
Yeah, I wonder who.
Yeah.
Not a friend.
Hey, he's just a friend.
But yeah, I mean, this felt a little bit drawn out, and Ganthet seemed. I'm going to shut up now. How did Ganthet seem to you?
Oh yeah, but here. I don't have a synopsis, but here, let me read the credits. Writer Ron Mars, pencilers Daryl Banks and Joe St. Pierre, inker Romeo Tangle, colorist Steve Matson, letterer Albert de Guzman, and editor Kevin Dooley.
Art's great, and the story is, aside from the trolling, the story is okay. Because
it basically starts with Cal and Donna jogging through the park, and then these 2 guys attempt to mug them. Their mistake.
Yeah.
And then in a huge case of foreshadowing, Donna's like, boy, you should really train with so you can fight without that ring, You should really train to fight without that ring. I think there's at least 2 pages of that. It's like, hey, you should really learn how to fight without that ring. So she has to go to the Titans HQ. So Cal, I guess he's flying home and gets attacked by this cyborg alien thing,
which is apparently not a cyborg alien, but just a construct from Ganthet, which is weird.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. So I was like, did Ganthet just create this out of like energy, or did he take 2 things and slap them together?
I was very unclear about that myself.
Because the thing beats him and drags him home, and then Ganthet's there.
Yeah, Ganthet's like, I was impatient. I'm like, wait, what? Huh?
I know, because He's like, I needed to talk to you. And Cal's like, I live here. I was coming back here anyway. You didn't need me to have this thing beat me senseless.
Well, and so I feel like they kind of go a little overboard with this. Like, you were just at the right place at the right time, so that, you know, they can prove once again that Kyle is the one true Green Lantern, you know, because he deserves it, blah, blah, blah. And oh my, I mean, I know Mars is pretty much the only one writing Hal at this point, but every time he shows up, oh my God, they make him more and more pathetic, right? I mean,
Yeah. Although we do get some tidbits dropped in here, because like Cal's like, you know, Alan Scott told me a lot of stuff and stuff. He, you know, he's like, what about the yellow weakness in the 24-hour charge?
Yeah.
That's what Ganthet gives us, the whole, you know, the info dump. The time limit and vulnerability to yellow were due to impurities in the central battery. Your ring was constructed after the battery's destruction, and thus not suffer from those faults. It is the final, most perfect of the Guardian's creations.
Okay.
Because your ring was created after the battery's destruction, and that yellow impurity jumped somewhere else.
I wonder what that yellow impurity was.
I was gonna say, talk about you're talking about the long game foreshadowing. You know, there's a knock. Hey, it's me, the yellow impurity.
Hi, I'm here. It me.
Yellow. So again, the writers didn't know about this at this point, but it's like, you know, if you go back and like headcanon it, it's like, so was Ganthet like keeping this? Did he know Parallax was in there and just like not telling Cal? Or
yeah, and see this.
I mean, Hal's calling himself Parallax.
Yeah, I mean, surely he knew, because they know about all of the entities.
Weren't the Guardians the one who locked him in there in the battery?
I think so, in the first place, yeah. So I don't know, and Ganthet seems a bit out of character in this one. You know,
well, once again, he's a plot device, like you were saying, you know, to prove Cal's, you know, worthy to be the last Green Lantern. Yeah.
And then, you know,
because he's like, where have you been? You know, just handed me that ring and like flew away. And he's like, I retreated to space in a non-corporeal form in order to recoup my strength.
I was tired, and it was heavy. I don't
but he's like, so, you know, Cal's like, oh, that's cool. You could be like my Zen master. He's like, no, you don't understand. I'm here for you to give me the ring back.
Yeah.
No way. I'm Green Lantern now. The ring's mine. I'm keeping it. And then, of course, he's finally made his way across the country. Who's standing in the door? It's mine, and I want it back.
Yeah. I mean, this whole issue was a setup for that moment.
Oh, lots of setup. Yes.
I mean, it was just, and I feel like it really, you know, again, we don't know what was going on with crossovers and, you know, where they need to hit at certain points, but it does feel like there was a lot of filler in this one.
Oh yeah, definitely, especially this one. It's like, yeah, but I mean, basically what happens, Dawn and Cal jog in the park, he flies home, Ganthet sends this thing to drag him home, and then it's like Hal shows up.
Yeah, there you go.
and a little bit of info dump. It's like, oh hey, your ring was created, you know, after the battery's destruction. Blah, blah, blah.
Because that yellow impurity went inside Al Jordan. Sorry.
He's yellow, Will.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. All right. So should we get to 63?
You bet.
I like that cover though.
Oh yeah, the art on these issues is really nice. I mean, Daryl Banks is a really, really good artist.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I think his kind of, you know, near constant presence on the book, making sure that, you know, it had a consistent look, you know, in these early year or two of Kyle, I think really made a big difference.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he gets as much credit as he necessarily deserves for the success of, you know, Kyle at this time.
Oh yeah, I don't think Kyle would have went over as big if that art hadn't been there. Yeah, definitely. I mean, between Daryl Banks's art and then when he goes to the JLA with Howard Porter art.
Porter? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Grant Morrison.
Yeah. I just talking art wise, but yeah. Graham Morrison. Yeah. All right. Issue 63, June 9, 1995. Parallax View, The Resurrection of Hal Jordan, Part 1.
Yeah, okay.
It's a 2-part resurrection, Will. But, oh, God. So, yeah, here's the synopsis. Hal fights Cal for the ring. Ganthet recruits JLA members to help Cal.
You know,
yeah.
I thought I killed you. Oh, I just went somewhere else. I'd like a little more info, please.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I guess if he could open a portal, you know, if it was going to blow up, it's like, oh, crap. Well, I guess I better portal away.
Okay.
Unless, you know, unless he siphoned off some of that power from the I don't know. But I love when Ganthet's, you know, Cal's like, you're here to take my ring away from me. And Ganthet's like, yeah, not to give it to him, though.
Yeah.
He's like, I think I'd rather have you keep it.
You just keep it. Yeah. Let's not give it to him.
Meanwhile, it's like, okay, you don't want Cal to keep it. You don't want Hal to have it. Who's left? I was going to say the logical choice would be to go to Jon Stewart and be like, hey, we need you back.
Or Guy Gardner.
Does anyone want Guy Gardner back though?
Or, I mean,
Aricia.
At this point, yeah, Aricia's on planet. All of them have proven that they can be Green Lanterns. They were chosen by the, you know,
I mean,
by the right. I guess that was something that John's kind of adapted in. It was, you know, rings chose, and Mogo was guiding the rings to choose, right? You know, based on those requirements. But you know, all of them were chosen. So,
but again, it's like, yeah, you have at least 3 former Green Lanterns on Earth. Well, John's in space, but I mean, Guy Gardner and Aricia are on Earth. I mean, yeah, you have Ganthet's basically a taxi ride away from at least 2 other.
Exactly. I mean, and you know, logically, we don't need to worry about that because they're not part of this book. So you know, I understand that, but it's still, it is a shared universe, and
but again, it's like Jon Stewart's a Dark Star now. Guy Gardner has his weird powers now. It's like, but again, Aricia's sitting there with no powers, you know.
Mm-hmm. Was a Green Lantern for a long time, very long time.
Oh, can you imagine if Ganthet took that ring from Cal and gave it to Aricia? It's like, oh yeah, Hal, you want that ring back? Oh yeah, you're gonna have to
fight a real Green Lantern. Oh, whoops, did I say a real Green Lantern? Sorry,
your ex.
Green Lantern.
your ex.
Yeah, you know, and that's interesting that of all the people Ganthet went to go get, he did not get Guy. You know, Guy is supposedly, you know, on par with Superman of power wise, and he didn't go get him.
Oh, true. Maybe there's bad blood there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I think he was going. He was
going classic Justice League.
Yeah, people. I guess he thought Hal considered friends. Maybe he thought Guy would set him off more.
That's possible too. I could go with that.
You know, Hal be like, oh, I don't mind punching him in the face.
Yeah. But I mean, if he's going to go the friend route, then why not go with like Carol Ferris or Aricia? You know.
Yeah. I guess he wanted people like.
I totally know why he went with who he went with, because that was a crossover part of this.
I was going to say, where's my cash register?
Yeah, exactly. We need Aquaman. We need.
Why do we need the classic JLA, Will?
We need the money. Gimme.
That's right.
So how I went away, but now I'm back and I want to be Green Lantern again. So basically, Ganthet and Cal are telling him no, and then Hal's like, no, I have to have it. Give me my ring. So Cal blasts him into a bookcase.
And then he comes up in the new armor. Bum, bum, bum. Sorry.
That splash page. Why are you making me do this? Yeah, so those two fight, and of course, Ganthet's like, no, this will never do. You won't defeat him. So his first stop is Martian Manhunter, of course.
And hey, that makes sense. That's
Yeah, former Justice League. You know, they're friends. You know, he's in Superman's weight class. Yes,
Yeah.
that of course makes sense.
Mental powers.
Takes him away. Why takes him away from his Oreos?
Yeah, that's his Oreos.
So yeah, so basically Ganthet's doing this while Cal and Hal are just like doing a big punch 'em up over the city. Then we get Aquaman.
Yeah.
We
get Wally.
Ganthet just leaves. Yeah. Oh, well, first, this is interesting. Okay, we'll get to this. Let's look at this list. First, he goes to Black Canary, and she's like, I don't want my Sonic Scream anymore. He's like, oh, you're no use to me, and just disappears, doesn't even bother taking her.
Yeah.
Yeah, then he goes to Wally West, grabs him, goes for Hawkman, who after 0 hour, all the remaining Hawks have basically been merged into one being, so.
Which is not confusing at all, but okay.
Because even Ganthet's like, well, he's at least an aspect of the man he knew in there, so let's go.
Close enough. We'll go.
But then he goes to a diner and grabs Oliver Queen.
At the end.
And takes Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me, Will. He takes Oliver Queen, who has no powers, but he doesn't take Black Canary, who doesn't have powers. Why? Is Ganthet sexist?
Probably. Remember, there were no female guardians at this point. But I think the reason he got Ollie was because of hard traveling heroes and space traveling heroes. You know, the whole Green Lantern, Green Arrow team up. That, you know, because they're such good friends, basically.
I know, but wouldn't you think, hey, Black Canary can be like, oh, hey, sun's getting low, big guy. But meanwhile, last time he saw Oliver Queen put an arrow in his chest. I mean,
exactly.
There might be some hard feelings there.
But they're pals. It's okay. They're pals.
Yeah. So, yes, at the end of this issue, after Hal beats down on Cal with a giant ring construct of his former Green Lantern self.
Yeah, and that's something that on reread kind of annoyed me. Well, Kyle is so much more imaginative with his ring constructs. I'm like, Hal's making a knight on armor right there on that page. He's making himself here on this page. And I'm like, okay, never mind. Never mind.
I love how Cal armors up on page 15. It almost looks like he gives him repulsor rays.
Yeah.
But, well, come on, king of the giant boxing gloves. Come on.
I know. Giant boxing gloves are just cool, man.
Yeah. But yeah, as he's about to pull the ring off Cal's hand, that's when Ganthet shows up with the male members of the Justice League. Yeah. Stupid app keeps turning the page. Yeah.
There we go.
Darn you, DC Finite. Next issue, justice will be done. All right, William, any other thoughts on this one?
No, I'm going to let it go.
All right, let's get to the conclusion. Then we can wrap this up. Green Lantern 64, July 1995. About the same team, but pencilers Daryl Banks and Mark Bright.
Ooh, that's right. I remember thinking, hey, that looks very familiar. Hal right there at the end. Yeah.
Some of the old, some of the new. Yeah. Yes, Parallax View, The Resurrection of Hal Jordan, Part 2. The story, we see Hal Jordan as Parallax being confronted by the last of the Guardians of the Universe, Ganthet. Ganthet tries to get Parallax to stop, but both know that Ganthet is not powerful enough to stop him. But Ganthet is not the one who's going to stop Parallax. It's Earth's heroes. All of them who were once friends with Hal before he became Parallax, except for Black Canary. The first...
Who was actually in the Green Lantern Green Arrow book. But anyway.
Exactly. He knows her. Come on. He loves the ladies. Come on. You don't that's who. Oh my God. Instead of we're selling the book. We're bringing in the Justice League. But can you imagine if Ganthet just like started pulling like, you know,
Olivia Reynolds, Carol Ferris, Aricia.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ex-girlfriend Revenge Squad. Yes. Oh my God. Hey, Carol Ferris was Star Sapphire. You think she could drive one of them rings? Come on.
Oh yeah, exactly.
All his ex-girlfriends armed with Green Lantern rings. The first to go up against the Parallax is Hal's old friend, Ollie Queen, the Green Arrow, who fires an arrow at Parallax, but catches it before it hits him and breaks it. And yeah, he's like, yeah, not again.
Yeah.
Green Lantern manages to punch Parallax long enough for Cal to rally the other heroes against Parallax. Hawkman and Flash try to attack, but Parallax blasts them away. Then Martian Manhunter tries to go after him and try to reason with him by saying he's repeating his mistakes, but Parallax chains him up and throws him at Green Lantern. Aquaman manages to knock Parallax from behind, telling him they all lost something, but it doesn't allow them to act like God because of it. Parallax counters by saying that he's still a hero. He's just doing it differently than what he used to do, and crushes Aquaman with a ball of green energy. Yeah, because he's all like, "Hell, look at you, Arthur. You're doing stuff differently." Talk to the
Talk to the hook. Talk to the hook.
Parallax suddenly gets punched by an invisible hand. It's Martian Manhunter. Seeing that Parallax is distracted, Hawkman attacks him, but it has no effect on Hal, and he knocks Hawkman far away, only to be caught by the Flash. While trying to shield himself from Green Lantern, Hal attacks John, telling him that he of all people should understand the things that Hal's been going through, considering that John lost his entire world, but he's just like everyone else.
You know, Hal says something that I actually laughed out loud when I read it. He's like, there were 7 million people lost in Coast City, and I knew them all. What? What?
Yeah.
I don't think so, dude. I really don't.
There were 7 million people in Coast City, and I knew everyone's wife.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, I know. I'm just really. I'm like, really? Who did you know in Coast City who died? Maybe some random Ferris employees. Because Carol's still alive.
Tom is still alive. Yeah.
As we see later, his brothers and everybody are still alive. So, you blew up my mother's grave.
Darn it.
I gotta wind back time so that gravestone's still there. While this is all happening, Ganthet and Green Arrow are watching the battle. Ganthet realizes that the battle is going badly, but Green Arrow tells him that they're doing the best they can. Ganthet counters by telling him that there's another way to stop Parallax before teleporting away. With Ganthet gone, Green Arrow strikes Hal with his bow, but it's ineffective. Parallax tries to reason with him, citing their close friendship to try and convince him to join his side, but Green Arrow refuses, so Hal creates a construct of a snake and ties Green Arrow up. Flash goes, oh, this is interesting. Flash goes after Parallax, telling him that in the past, he always thought of him as his uncle. He also tells Hal that he knows what happened to Coast City when it was destroyed, but since he wasn't there, he tries to get Hal to tell him what really happened then. But Hal just strikes back at him, telling him that he's proud that Wally has become as much a hero as Barry was. But for his own good, Hal's actions aren't necessary. Now that nearly everyone has been defeated, it once again falls down the Green Lantern to stop the maniac. They battle each other fiercely, but Hal's experience and power is much greater than Cal's and creates a giant blast which knocks Cal out, allowing Hal to finally take the last Green Lantern ring in existence and transforms into his own old uniform. But there's someone else there to stop him. Superman.
Mullet. Super mullet man.
Why did you do this at first, Ganthet? Why wasn't he in that first group? Martian Manhunter and Superman? Come on.
Yeah.
Maybe Captain. I know they weren't really friends, but Captain Adam. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, Oliver Queen. Come on, bring in some big guns. Come on.
Yeah.
Superman tries to reason as well with Hal, saying that they need to talk, but Hal's not interested in talking. So they fight it out. Superman tries to figure out the reason why Hal's acting the way he is. Hal reminds Superman that he was at Coast City as well with him when it was obliterated by Cyborg, Superman, and Mongol, causing the deaths of 7 million people that he all knew. That he knew. Oh, here it is. It's even in the synopsis. All of them Hal knew when he was Green Lantern. They blast each other with their powers, but Superman grabs Hal from behind. But Hal creates a bomb that explodes on Superman, creating a huge explosion. After the smoke clears, Hal is the winner with only Ganthet remaining. Ganthet berates Hal for the actions that he has done since he destroyed the Green Lantern Corps, the Green Lantern Central Power Battery, and Oa, saying that he wanted the power to restore Coast City. Destroying the...
I have to take issue with that. Hal did not destroy Oa.
True. Oh, that's true, Will. He just blew up the battery and killed all the Guardians and a couple Green Lanterns. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then Kyle blew up Oa.
Covered up the evidence.
Without checking to see if anybody was on planet. But that's okay. They got them all off.
That's true. And once he had the power, he battled against his friends and brought harm onto them. Hal tells him that he was only trying, but Ganthet reminds him that he was once the greatest of the Green Lanterns, but the power is no longer his anymore. Hal counters by telling Ganthet that he was tired of listening to the Guardians and only sought enough power to resurrect Coast City, but the Guardians rejected him, and that it's their fault that he is like this now. Despite all that, Hal still needs power, and the remaining power of the Green Lantern Corps is Ganthet. Ganthet tells him that he can give him that power, but it shouldn't come to that point. Just as Hal is about to take Ganthet's power, Cal strikes Hal from behind with a pipe, which doesn't do anything to him. Just hit him in the head.
Well, hitting him in the head sometimes works if it was a yellow pipe.
Oh, true. Oh. You know what? That's interesting because that yellow impurity is living in him. Would yellow still affect him?
I don't know.
Because the yellow impurity was Parallax, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's an
now
interesting question.
Instead of in the battery, it's in Hal. So
and that's where his power comes from. So I don't know.
quick, get me a yellow metahuman.
Exactly.
Oh my God, they paint Superman yellow.
They did red and blue. Why not yellow?
Can you imagine if that's how they ended this? Like either Kal Rayner or Oliver Queen painted themselves head to toe in yellow and just decked them. But then every time Parallax showed up, then they'd be like, hit him with something yellow.
Yellow, go with yellow.
Hey, does Real Doc still have those yellow spaceships?
Good point.
Hal scoffs at Cal's determination to stop him, but Cal tells him that it is his duty as a hero to stop criminals like Hal, and despite not having any power to stop Hal, he is still willing to do it because he's Green Lantern, damn it. Those words are enough to affect Hal, and he changes back into his Parallax uniform, realizing that he cannot turn back from what he has done and that the Green Lantern ring doesn't belong to him, it belongs to Cal. See, Will? As for Hal and Ganthet gives Hal the power that he desires, and Hal takes it. But instead of attacking everyone around him, he flies away and disappears. He really doesn't give him power. Ganthet basically becomes energy and just like merges with Hal.
Yeah, it's weird. I forget how Ganthet comes back. We'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah. So now that he's gone, the others talk with Cal, with him saying that his words must have had an impact on him, allowing him to realize that the ring doesn't fit with him anymore, and that since he got the ring from Ganthet, Cal has been debating whether the ring fits him or not. But Superman tells him that the ring was given to him for a reason, and that now, more than ever, he is Green Lantern. Meanwhile, in Coast City, we see a boy crying, looking for his missing dog, when suddenly his dog shows up, having been found by Green Lantern. But as we see eventually, it's just an image of Hal's imagination, where we see Hal in some unknown place, curled up, realizing that he is alone now in the universe. So... between Cal's words and Ganthet basically doing the mind meld with him, or is this planting more seeds in Hal's head now, a doubt in Hal's head now? Again,
I know we've got 30 years of backstory here, but
now you got Parallax in there, Ganthet in there. He got hit with the oregano ray at some point.
Yeah. And plus, we're going to get the Spectre. So
yes.
I kind of wonder if you were talking about does Ganthet know? And
Yeah.
we know, he has to know. And I'm wondering if part of this is Ganthet, just pushing Hal to see if he can overcome it, right? This is a lot of this is a lot of back head canon at this point,
Or maybe at the end here, this is like the real Hal, like starting to like poke out because Ganthet's in there, basically duking it out with Parallax. Maybe at this point,
potentially, yeah. I mean, that's definitely possible. But
and like you spoiled, yes, Hal dies during Final Night, saving everyone by reigniting the sun. But do you remember what else he did before he did that during Final Night? I mean, they show it later, but he brings back Oliver Queen.
He brings back Oliver Queen.
Oliver Queen died. He got blown up in an airplane explosion in Green Arrow 100.
Oh,
that's when Connor Hawke takes over, and then he's all convinced, oh, my father's alive, and he's searching for him. But then it's like the first issue of the Kevin Smith run.
Oh, that's right.
In a flashback, Kevin Smith shows like he had to go to Superman was there when Oliver died. So he's like, man, he pulls microscopic traces of Oliver Queen off of Superman's cape. He's like, man, this guy needs to watch his capes better. And basically the microscopic fragments of Oliver Queen, he grows a new Oliver Queen.
And then
but he doesn't bring his soul back from heaven. Yes.
That happens later. Yeah.
Yes. When an evil douchebag tries to take over Oliver Queen's body, and
bad things happen.
Living Oliver Queen, the Spectre, who took him to heaven, and it's like his soul's like, no, I'm happy here. But then once this evil guy's trying to take over his body, Oliver talks to his soul and is like, no, you got to come back, or this guy's gonna do horrible things with us. Yes. So yes, Hal gets his redemption.
Yeah. It's coming. In about 100 episodes? I don't know. 50 episodes? 75 episodes?
No, I mean, we'll get the Final Night next year. I mean,
yeah, I was thinking more Rebirth,
I mean, we're ending at issue 64 here. The funeral's in 81, so
yeah,
it's coming.
It's
coming. We're gonna cover some Final Night, I believe. All right. Anything else, or should we get out of here because the old men have gone long again?
That's right. I'm good, man.
All right, here, let me pull up the schedule. Oh yes, if you're watching this on YouTube, we get a little early, but if you're listening to this on the podcast, it's the last episode for 2021.
Happy New Year.
That's right. If you're listening to this on the podcast, oh yes. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I believe this does drop New Year's Eve, so the morning, December 31st in the morning. So
very cool.
Yes, Happy New Year in about 20, in a few hours.
We're still in the past though, so
yes, like opposite of Ray. Yeah,
exactly.
it'll be like the afternoon of today, and Ray will start messaging you. Happy New Year, Happy New Year.
Yeah. Come on, man. I haven't even woke up yet.
Will's like, I don't get going until 2:00. Come on.
That's right.
All right. So yes, next week like I said, part 1, because we split it into 2 parts. The Way of the Warrior.
Guy Gardner, yay!
That's right. Next week for part 1, we'll cover Guy Gardner 32, Annual number 1, Justice League of America 101, and Hawkman 22.
Okay.
And then in 2 weeks, it'll be the second part from Guy Gardner 33, Justice League of America 102, Hawkman 23, and Guy Gardner 34.
We're getting really close to the end of that Justice League run, aren't we?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think we're also we've got 10, Guy Gardner ended at 44? Right?
Yeah.
So 10 issues left of Guy Gardner, so.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, we're going to get the JLA stuff in April. So, yeah, it's coming.
Cool. Very cool.
I was going to look for you. the funeral issue is it'll be like the week before we start. Like we got like 2 weeks of JLA stuff. It'll be like right before the JLA stuff. So
Oh, sweet.
so yeah. So basically, what? Oh yeah, maybe like that might hit the podcast April 1st. That Green Lantern 81. Oh yeah, Final Night we'll be covering Final Night the last week of March. So
Nice.
well, it'll hit the podcast last week of March. So yes,
Very cool.
Final Night is coming, William. All right, kids. So yeah, send your thoughts on Way of the Warrior. Or like I said, if you want to send thoughts on this, we'll read them after the fact. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember to follow Sector 2814 on Facebook, on Twitter. Go join Book of Oa, our Facebook fan group. I think are we closing in on 700 members? So yeah, join Book of Oa. Find links to all the social medias and Facebook groups for all the various shows we do, including the brand new Unlimited Justice, starting first week, January 2022. Me and Lilith Hellfire for everything Justice League and Justice Society.
Nice.
And stay tuned for the crossover between Unlimited Justice and Sector 2814 in April. Cover that first JLA arc. All right. So yeah, so find links to all that. Find links, again, the YouTube channel. All these episodes have videos. So see two old men talk about 90s
Old comics.
Yes. But just wait, in a few weeks we'll have 3 old men again. So yeah, so find link to the YouTube channel. Once again, most importantly, Patreon. If you can, please subscribe. Once again, Southgate Media Group is no more. We're paying for this out of our own pocket, so every little bit helps. Creator interviews. Lilith and I talk to DG Chichester every month. Our movie reviews are coming in 2022. So yes, please subscribe or get yourself some Capes and Lunatics or Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. But everything is at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And not to forget our friend in the far sector. Again, follow Matt Kona everywhere on social media. The man is all over it at Matt Kona, MATTKONA.
The yin to Darkhawk's yang.
Slow down. We need this for drops. See you later, bunkie.
All right. Will Allred, master of the Kickstarter. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Wallred. That's at WALLRED. Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and all those places. And like Phil says, I currently have the Kickstarter for Crossover Division number 3 going. There we go. I've got 1 and 2 here. Number 3 is funded, and we still have a couple weeks left. So actually, around the time that this drops, it might be finishing up. But our goal is to get as many readers as we possibly can. So check it out at crossoverdivision.com/KS or crossoverdivision.com/Kickstarter. And if you are interested in some of my other work, Diary of Night, diaryofnight.com. Woohoo! And then all kinds of cool stuff about a certain Marvel cosmic hero called Quasar can be found out at the Quantum Zone, which is quantumzone.org.
Hey, you boys, you look at the party? I love the party.
I'll put it in my navel.
We gotta do another Quasar sometime. Maybe we get that damn action figure.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Any news on him showing up in okay?
I've seen nothing. I keep my eyes open. I've seen nothing. I've heard nothing. Hey, what is that? Marvel Legends. Hey, if you want to send us, we'll review it.
Yeah. Very positively.
Yes, we will. Especially when we have it in our hands. All right, kids. Again, Way of the Warrior next week. Come on, Matt Cody. You want to come back for that? Come on. Way of the Warrior.
Guy Gardner.
God effing Gardner. 90s.
We're halfway through the 90s.
All right, kids. Come back next week. And remember, watch out for those lead pipes.